Five more little-known prehistoric monsters. Number 5. Dinosaurs were primitive whales that looked rather like sea serpents, with small, reptilian-looking heads and very long and slender bodies. They lived during the Eocene, a time of war motions, so they didn't have to store great amounts on fat to keep their body temperature in cold waters as modern-day whales do. Basilosaurs were the top predators of their time, feeding on anything they could catch, including sharks and smaller whales. The largest basilosaurs were in the 20-30 meter long range. An interesting fact is that, when the first basilosaur remains were found, they were thought to belong to a giant sea lizard or snake, hence the dinosaurian-sounding name. Number 4. Argentavis. Argentavis was the largest flying bird that we know of. It had a wingspan of 8.5 meters. That's larger than most known pterodactyls. Argentavis lived in South America and looked basically like a giant vulture. It belonged to the group of terns, which were similar to today's condors but better adapted for a predatory lifestyle, instead of just scavenging on other animals' kills. Some scientists believe that Argentavis' smaller relatives were possibly the inspiration for the thunderbird legends of Native Americans. But Argentavis itself was never seen by humans, for it went extinct 6 million years ago. Number 3. Dunkleosteus. A gigantic armored fish that ruled the oceans during the Devonian period, long before sharks took over. This monster could grow up to 10 meters long and had jaws shaped like double blades. It had one of the most powerful bites of all times, and some scientists believe that it could probably bite through metal if it was alive today. It was also protected by a thick plate armor that made it rather slow compared to modern-day sharks, but since most of its prey weren't too fast either, that wasn't necessarily a problem. There was only one thing Dunkleosteus was afraid of: larger members of its same species. Indeed, there is evidence that these fish ate each other once in a while. Number 2. Sea scorpion. Although closely related to scorpions, these monsters actually belonged to a different group, the Eurypterids, which ruled the oceans during the Ordovician period, and existed for millions of years before finally going extinct at the end of the Permian period. These giant marine bugs looked like a bizarre cross between a scorpion and a lobster, with a tapering tail armed with either a venomous harpoon-like spine or a flat swimming fin, depending on the species. They were able to survive on land, but spent most of their time underwater, where they fed upon any smaller creature they could catch. The largest sea scorpions could grow up to 3 meters long or more. Number 1. Mosasaur. Mosasaurs are often thought to be marine dinosaurs, but they are actually close relatives to today's lizards and snakes. These reptiles ruled the oceans during the late Cretaceous period, and were extremely voracious. Among the prey animals found in the stomach cavity of mosasaurs are sharks, giant squid, and smaller marine reptiles, including other mosasaurs. They had many razor-sharp, serrated teeth, even in the roof of the mouth, and could grow up to 20 meters long. That's bigger than the biggest carnivorous dinosaurs, making mosasaurs the largest known predators of the late Cretaceous.